I realize how South African we are whenever I travel. And then you see, I've been doing gigs, for instance, in the Middle East. Has anybody been to Dubai? It's a fantastic, perfect, clean, lovely, ordered, wonderful, friendly place. And I start getting homesick for Johannesburg. Because I was flying there, and again, a true story. Now, I hate flying because I spoke about an airline earlier on. Some of you may remember an airline a few years ago that went bang, literally, when we took off from Cape Town, and as we took off, the right-hand engine climbed out. And I promise you, as you're taking off, and that right-hand engine, just at sort of 10,000 feet, goes, and you feel a 737 go, that's when you discover adrenaline is brown. And at that point, we were screaming, and help, we're gonna die. And that's when the hostess, sorry, they're not hostesses anymore. You know what I mean? The gin and tonic technologist, that chick, you know what I mean? She went, sit, quiet. We regret that due to the loss of half our engines, the flight to Johannesburg will take twice as long. And I'm sitting with my best mate from Kreersdorp who's going, what, fuck, half, twice, half. Yes, if we lose the other engine, we'll be up here all night, man. And so, flying to Dubai to go and do a gig, lovely. But now, because of these experiences on this plane, I'm scared of flying. So, I'm flying along, and before I realized, you know what I mean, I need to keep calm as I go along. So I went to duty free and I bought a little bottle of KWV brandy. You know what I mean? And I'm not promoting alcohol, you know what I mean? Beer is a gateway drug to spirits, and Coca-Cola is a gateway drug to brandy, and and cycling is a gateway drug to steroids. And kidding, I'm kidding. But if you think of Lance, let's face it, you're not allowed to drink and drive, but you can cycle when you are off your tits. And I was thinking of Lance Armstrong and Neil Armstrong. Both of them discovered you can go further when you've got a little buzz. She'll explain it later, okay? You'll be fine. So I bought myself a bottle of brandy at duty free, and we flew for 11 hours to Dubai. And as we were flying, whenever I felt nervous, I had a little proppy, okay? And I felt nervous fairly often. And when we started to descend to Dubai, I realized that there was no way that they were going to let me into a Middle Eastern country with a half-open bottle of alcohol. And it was me just being insensitive and stupid, so I had to get rid of this thing. And my mom taught me never to waste. So I did the best I could. And when we landed in that lovely, efficient, clean place, I was what we call in Afrikaans slim, sterk en aantreklik. I was wasted, okay? Now, the problem with arriving there is they are so efficient, but they don't mess with security. There you don't have just your passport. There you have also your visa, your photograph, your fingerprint. And they have a thing there called a retinal scan, which basically means that what happens is you put your eye at like an optometrist machine, and they look in and they tell you if your eye's a terrorist, okay? But it was entirely my fault, because when they said retinal scan, and I'd had a few drinks. I'm not proud of it. I could have sworn they'd said rectal scan, okay? And they are so fancy that the machine was like this height. I didn't realize I'm supposed to sit down and have an interview, okay? What would you think? I mean, so basically what I did is I turned around, because on a South African passport you don't argue, and I Gentleman over there went, yeah, brown eye. Yeah, exactly. That's that's exactly what happened. And the point was, in the confusion, is that's the moment when he looked in. And I looked back over my shoulder, and you should have seen the expression on his face, because and he was incredibly professional, but you should have seen my expression when he said, "Welcome to Dubai, Mr. Bieber." And ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to chat to you guys here this evening. Thank you so much. Would you please give another round of applause for the acts that you've seen tonight? Mr. Warren Robertson, Gavin Kelly, the incredible Ngoba Ngobu. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Prodgers. Thank you very much. It's been a privilege. Good night.